Hello and welcome to this demonstration on our Two Red Robins Pots of Love collection. I'm working with the Minecraft Studio element today and I'm really excited to have a little look around this artwork. So let's get to the computer and have a look at what we can create with it. Beautiful, really beautiful. You're going to love this one. So in the Pots of Love we've got scene building, we've got reflections that work with your dies, and we've also got digi-stamps. So I'm going to start with the scene building. And the first thing I'm going to do is bring on our cup. So here you see we've got this is our Terrific design. Really beautiful china cup. We do have it in a pink version as well, so we have multiple options on here. One of the other things we can do obviously is we can change the colour of the design. If you are a beginner to Minecraft Studio, please check out our other YouTube videos. We do have lots of education on the graphics program. But today we're just going to look at and focus on this particular design. So I'm going to I've got this cup and I'm actually going to copy and paste it so that I've got two on the page. I'm going to hit the copy button and I'm going to hit the paste button. So you can see I've got two identical cups on the page now. What I'm going to do is I'm going to fill this cup with a load of flowers. So what we're going to do is let's have a look at this one here. So I think we'll pop that one down just at the bottom just there. So that's actually going to be the one that is at the bottom of the cup. And then we'll bring on some more of the designs. Got these beautiful stems here. This is absolutely beautiful. Our stems of blossom, we've called this one. Really, really stunning. So I'm going to right click and I'm going to send that to the back because I want that to be, I want it to be inside the cup, but actually not all the way to the back. So what I'm actually going to do is right click and bring it forwards by one layer. So when we actually do these right click and send to back or send backwards or bring forwards, we have the option to go by one layer or lots and lots of layers in one go. So if I bring it forward, you see it comes in front of the cup. But if I pop that one on there, it's actually behind that one now. So we're actually mixing and creating our own composition just now. So I'm going to pop that one just there. I'm going to bring on our peach petals. You can see this is a little bit of foliage. I'm going to resize it, pop that one just here. And I'm actually going to flip that one so that it curls in the opposite direction. So let's right click and flip, and we'll flip it horizontally so that it curls in this direction. Just going to rotate it around just a little bit. And then I'm going to right click and I'm going to send that backwards as well. So it sent it behind this particular flower here, but you can see it's still in front of these stems here, the blossom stems. So we'll get another one of those blossom stems on, but I'm going to go with the white one on this one. And then rather than having this one faced in the same direction, I've right clicked and we're going to flip this one as well. So we're going to flip it horizontally. So you can see there it's actually facing in the opposite direction now. What I'm also going to do is I'm actually going to squish this one a little bit because at the moment it's actually exactly the same shape and size as this one here. So if I just squish this just a little bit, you'll see that it actually changes the perspective on that particular flower there as well. So I'm going to pop this one just here. I'm going to right click, I'm going to go to order and I'm going to send it backwards. So you can see I just want it to go behind this particular bloom here. So I'm going to pop that one over to the side here. And then what we're going to do now is I'm going to bring on another one of these. And I'm actually going to trim away some of the leaves around the edge. So I might actually just get rid of this flower here. So we're going to use the digital scissors. I'm going to snip around here. And again, all of the information with the techniques that I'm using is covered in the education classes in lots and lots of detail. So I'm just going to click around here. So with the digital scissors, every click with the mouse is a snip with a pair of digital scissors. You can see that the line's black, but when I get back to the beginning, so I get back to where I started, the line changes to blue and the selected area changes to blue instead of red. We can now keep the outer, which keeps everything outside of the blue area, or keep the inner, which keeps everything inside. So I'm going to keep the outer because I wanted this part of the flower. So I'm going to pop this one, I'm just going to squish this one as well. So I'm actually going to change the size. So you can see it just changes the look of the flower a little bit because in nature, not everything is identical. So I just want to add this one just up here, just to give it a little bit more depth and dimension in the composition. But I'm actually going to send that one all the way to the back. If I send it backwards, it'll start to go behind the individual layers. You can see these have come in front of it. And then if I send it backwards by another one, it'll go behind the white bloom. Actually, I quite like it there. This is actually one of the one of the beautiful things about using Minecraft Studio. We can actually we can chop and change our design. So we're going to leave that one there actually because it's just tucked nicely in there, but we can still see it in front of this particular piece here. What I'm going to do as well, I'm actually going to change the colour of these flowers here. So I'm going to go to the Effects tab, and I'm going to use the Colour Boost slider. So I'm actually going to add in a little bit of red into here. So I'm just going to make them a little bit more orangey. So you can see there, we're just changing the colour slightly. So you can see we can take it down to the greens, or we can take some of the green out and make it a little bit more pink. So it's a little bit more pink, but it's not exactly the same as this one. Again, I didn't want it to be identical. We can just copy and paste this one and pop it over this side if we want to, but I did want it to have a little bit of a different tint to it as well. So we've got a little bit of variety in there. And then what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to get this cup here. So you can see now we've actually got a lot of stems in front of the cup. So if I just zoom into the page a little bit so you can see a bit more of the detail there. These are actually the flower stems that are in front of the cup. Now we don't want those in front of the cup, we want them to be inside the cup. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to bring this cup over here. I'm going to right click and I'm going to bring this to the front and pop it directly over the top. But you can see there now this part of the cup needs to be behind. So this is where we're going to use those scissors again. So we're going to click onto the scissors, and we're just going to click around, and we're going to go around the edge of the cup here. So just going on the inside edge. So again, I'm getting the area there, and we're just going to go all the way along here, and then again back to the beginning. When the line changes to blue, we click, and this time we're going to keep the outer because I want to get rid of what's inside the blue area. So we're going to keep the outer. So now we've actually tucked those flowers inside, but what we've actually also got is this one's overhanging the edges. So we've got two options here. If I click onto this one, we can right click and we can go order and we can bring it to the front. So that one is at the front of the composition, but those stems are actually now all inside the teacup. So if I just click on this one here, go to the layers tab and click that off, you can see there we've got the cup behind, but also we've also got the stems there. So this is actually just another copy of that cup. If I put this one back on, you see the stems disappear behind it, but also because we've got that one at the back, you can see here we have actually still got, you can see the back of the cup there, so you can see that the flowers are actually tucked inside the cup. So if I just click this one off and this one, you'll see, just click in that box there, you'll see we've got all the stems showing here. But if I click this one back on, then those flowers are inside the cup. And because we've got these bits overhanging, we could actually use the scissors to cut these bits away. So if I click onto this one, we can use the scissors and we can just click over here. So just cancel that, I just clicked in the wrong place. So just scissors, just click around this piece here. Back to the beginning, it changes to blue, and we're going to keep the outer to get rid of those. And you see we've actually got rid of that bit that's overhanging now. So you've got many different options. I'm actually going to undo what I just did because I do want those ones to be there, because when I pop this one over the top, you see there it actually covers up the fact that they are, you know, if that one wasn't there, they would look like they're coming through the cup. But because that one's there, it's actually it's covering that up, so it looks like it's draping over the side of the cup instead. So what I'm going to do now, I'm actually going to save this composition as my own file. So we have a couple of different options with Minecraft Studio. So what I'm going to do first of all is zoom out to the page so I can see the whole thing. I'm going to press select all so I get hold of everything on the page, and I'm going to press group. I'm going to resize this so that it's as big as it can be on the A4 page, just so that it, and the only reason I'm doing that is because it will save this whole area as the actual image. So I just want to have as little as possible so that I need to crop away when I'm actually working with the design later. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go to the brushes tab, click on constants and select transparent. So this is actually going to get rid of that white background paper. So when I press save as and save this as a PNG, so I'm going to save it as a PNG Pro Quality, and I'm just going to save it as floral cup. I'm going to save that there. And then we're going to put the page back to white. So click on constants again, select white and set. And then we're just going to delete that off the page. So we can see there we've actually got rid of that off the page. There's no layers on there at all, it's all gone. But what we can do now is if I go up here into documents, which is where I saved the file, we actually have that composition here. So this is a complete separate image now. So this is completely unique to me. Your designs will vary slightly, but you can see here we've actually created this beautiful design What I just want to do is crop the design. So click onto the design there to activate the crop feature, bring up that bottom edge just there, select OK, and then I can shrink this down, and then I can pop it up at the top, tile, and we can create a backing paper from the design that we just created. I just think this particular this collection of artwork, it's a download. I need to get used to saying download. I just think it's just such a beautiful collection, really, really stunning. So you can see we could create a topper with this particular design, and then we've got a backing paper to go with it as well. Something else that we could do is actually just stretch this right up so it's really, really big. We're going to go really huge with it on this one. I'm going to right click, go to order and send it to the back, and then I'm going to fade that down using the opacity slider. So it just gives me that soft floral detail in the background. If I just click on crop and then just click and drag a box over the white page, you can see there we've got rid of that bit that's overhanging, so you can see we've got a beautiful background there now, just with a little bit of detail on the back. And if we just fade down the tile there as well, that gives us a beautifully soft background. I'm just going to clear the page down and just do one more little demonstration for you. So if I delete those, I'm going to go back down to my Pots of Love, and we've got the scene building here. I'm going to bring on the Sensational design. Now this is our perfume bottle, which again is really, really lovely. We have it again in two different colourways. So we have the beautiful sort of almost antique gold bottle here, and then we have the pink one here. So it's almost like an iridescent aurora borealis going on this one. So what I'm going to do now is I'm actually going to do something a little bit different. So we're going to take the top off the perfume bottle. So I'm going to use the scissors, and we're just going to cut along this little area here where the lid of the bottle is. So just going to cut around there. I'm going to go again back to the beginning, and when we get back to the beginning the line changes to blue. And what we're going to do now is we're going to cut, which actually cuts that piece away from the design, but puts it on the clipboard. And what we're going to do now is we're going to paste. So it's pasted it back in the same place, but actually it's a separate layer now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this down here, and we're just going to pop it down here just as if it's been taken off the bottle and popped to one side. So we're going to pop that down there, maybe pop it just at the edge just there. So it's just on the table, just at the side of the bottle. And then I'm actually going to bring in our, let's have a look. So we'll bring in our stems here. So we'll pop those just there. And we will use our scissors again, just to get rid of these little bits here. So I'm just going to get rid of this one. So get rid of that stem there. So again, back to the beginning. I'm going to cut that section away. And then we're going to come back here. We're going to go back to the scissors, and we're going to cut the stems away as well. So we're just tracing around where those stems go up under the petals. So around this bit here, again, back to the beginning, the line changes to blue, which is where we want to click. And we'll cut that piece away as well. So there we've actually got a single stem inside the bottle, and we've taken the bottle top off and popped it down to the side. We can also save this as our own file as well. So I'm just going to zoom out of the page. Again, I'm going to press select all so that I get everything on the page. I'm going to group it, and I'm going to stretch this up to fill the page as well. So I'm going to fill the page as much as we can with that one. We'll go to brushes and to transparent, and we'll set that as a transparent page. And again, we're going to save that as a PNG file. So we're going to go PNG, and we'll go floral bottle. And then we'll take the page back to being a white page. So we'll set that, delete that one, going back into files, and then I'm going to come back to my documents, which is where I got those two elements saved. I'm going to bring this one on here. You can see there's our file, and it's transparent in the same way as the elements that we use from the scene building folders. I'm going to bring this one on here as well, and put this one beside it. So I'm going to pop the little teacup just at the side of the perfume bottle there. So you can decide whether you want a large perfume bottle and a small teacup, or a large teacup and a small perfume bottle, but I'm going to go a similar size. And then what we can do now is add a little bit of a drop shadow to this particular one here. So if we go to the effects, scroll down to drop shadow, and we use the blur radius just to add a little bit of a shadow around the design there. But then you can see we've actually added a little bit of depth and detail to the design. So we just lifted it from the page a little bit, but then also where it overlaps here, it actually gives us a little bit of extra dimension. So we'll do the same on this one here. So you can see we're just lifting it a little bit. And then what I'm going to do now is go back to the files. I'm going to go back to our scene building. I'm going to create a new page, switch the grid and ruler off, and I'm just going to grab these flowers here, pop them onto the page. I'm going to shrink that down. I'm going to tile that one. So I'm going to create a new backing paper here. So we're creating this backing paper, and then we're going to fade that down quite a bit. So we just want a little bit of detail in the background there. Going to go back to brushes. I'm going to use the colour picker to select a very soft pink from the backing paper there, so from in the middle of the flower. I'm going to set the canvas, so you can see we've actually just set that to that soft dusky pink now. Back into the files, and I'm going to come back up to documents, and I'm going to bring on the teacup. So just going to pop that just down towards the bottom here. So there we've got a backing paper. And we can actually crop this design because remember we created it and saved it as our own PNG file, so we can actually crop this so that it comes into the edge of the paper. We can stretch it up a little bit as well if we wanted to. So if I just deactivate the tile feature, let me just zoom out of the page, just OK the crop. Let's OK that. And then we can actually go back to our original page, and we could actually then create a card. So we've created a beautiful backing paper which we can use on the project, and then we can also mat and layer our topper onto it, which we would have a little bit more design detail around the back of this one. So if I just save this file as a JPEG, so that's going to give me a full page, so we'll call it paper 1. And then come back to this one, and we go back to, so in documents you see the paper's just appeared here. And if we pop this onto the page here, just zoom out of the page. I'm going to right click and send that to the back, and send it all the way to the back so that it's behind everything. I'm just going to stretch it up just a little bit so that it fits just behind our design there. So there we go. So now we can crop this one. So it just gives us a little bit of detail behind those elements that we've just created. And there you can see we've created a little bit of a topper. So we're just going to group those together. And then what I'm going to do is just create a solid matte layer to go behind. Now to do that, what I need to do is add some text, which it always seems like a very strange way to do this. So I'm just going to click into this box here. So we just click add text, and we're just going to type the capital letter I. I'm going to highlight the text and change the font to Impact, so a nice big solid font. So you can see here we've got that there now. What we can do with the text is we can also then use the colour picker to actually select a colour out of the design that we've created. So I've gone for the dark red there. And then we can also use the digital punch, which is so we're going to go with the rectangle on this one. Pop that onto here and bring it down here. And then I'm going to keep the inner, so we've actually changed the text into a matte layer now. So all I'm going to do now is stretch this along here, stretch it down here, right click, go to order and send it to the back. And then you can see I just use the keys on my keyboard, the arrow keys on my keyboard, just to nudge it up into the right position. And there you can see we've got our topper created. So now we've got a backing paper that we've created on this page, a topper that we've created on this page. We popped the backing paper behind the topper, but because we've got this design on the backing paper, that can also be a topper on a different project, and all by using a few simple files and a little bit of Minecraft Studio magic. So I hope you've enjoyed our Pots of Love demonstration. I can't wait to see what you guys create with this one. Whether you use the Minecraft Studio elements along with the dies and the SVG files, check out the videos we've got for those ones as well. It's an absolutely stunning collection, and I know you guys are going to love it. So thank you for joining me, and I will see you again next time. Bye-bye. If you want to see more from Highlight Crafts, make sure you click the like button. Subscribe by clicking the subscribe button below. and click the bell icon to receive notifications of our future content. You can also click here to see our latest video, or click here to see more videos like this one.